You ever have one of those mornings where you just know, deep down, that the universe woke up mean? Yeah, that was me, right there at sunrise, thinking I was headed for a peaceful day at my cabin. And by peaceful, I mean no cell service, no boss breathing down my neck, just the sound of the wind rattling pine needles and maybe, if I was lucky, the sizzle of bacon on my camp stove. Not today, not even close. So there I was, coffee in hand, humming along the rutted dirt road, thinking about the boards I'd replace on my dock, the trout I might pull in before dinner. Around the last bend, slam on my brakes, so hard my thermos flips, and hot coffee soaks my seat. And you know why? Someone with the kind of audacity you usually only see on bad reality TV, had parked a behemoth of an RV dead center on my lot. Not tucked off to the side. Not just passing through. No, this thing was squatting, flat out, taking over, like it had always belonged there. And you want to know the best part? Lawn chairs fanned around my fire pit. A folding table loaded with coolers and half-empty bags of chips. A clothesline, yes, a real damn clothesline, strung between two of my pines, sagging with laundry. For a second, I actually wondered if I'd lost my mind. Maybe turned down the wrong road. Maybe some alternate universe where nothing made sense. But nope, there was my dock, slanting into the water just the way I'd built it. My initials carved on the old wooden sign. The gate I'd welded myself, still swinging on those rusty hinges. No mistake about it. This was mine. Every inch paid for with hard work and more weekends than I'd care to admit. I get out of my truck, boots crunching gravel, heart hammering in my chest. I walk up to the RV, massive, glossy, some satellite dish sprouting off the roof like a wart. Knock on the door, firm but polite. It swings open, and out steps this woman. Bleach blonde, sunglasses so big I'm surprised her neck could hold up her head. Iced coffee in hand, like it's her badge of office. And the smirk? Oh man, you know the type. The kind that tells you she's already decided you're beneath her. Yes, she snaps, not a hint of good morning. I tell her, calm, level, but you can probably hear the edge of my voice. This is private property. Maybe she's parked by mistake. I'm thinking, maybe she's lost. Maybe her GPS sent her on a wild goose chase. But her smirk just gets wider. I'm not moving, she says. Like that. Flat. Like she's daring me to try and make her. Part of me wants a laugh. I'm waiting for the punchline for her to grin and say, just kidding. No such luck. She sips her coffee, shrugs, and says, HOA says we can use any empty lot. Take it up with them. You ever feel your jaw tighten so much you can hear your own teeth grind? That was me. I tell her, this land isn't community property. It's mine. Paid for. Titled. Surveyed. You're trespassing. She just leans in the door frame, arms crossed, looks at me like I'm the one with the problem. Oh, so you're one of those guys. Think you can hoard the best spot by the lake and not share? Not how it works, cowboy. And she throws out this threat. Maybe I should call the cops and let them decide. Now, I'll admit, my patience was wearing thin, but I kept it together. Ma'am, I'm asking you nicely. Pack up your RV and leave before we have a real problem. She just laughs. Not a real laugh, but that mocking kind that makes your blood run hot. Not happening. My husband's on the HOA board. When he gets here, you'll be sorry. And then slam, door in my face. I stand there, feeling like someone just poured ice water down my back. This wasn't some lost tourist. This was a full-on HOA Karen, thinking the rules were more like suggestions. For other people. So I knock again, louder this time. Ma'am, I'm giving you one more chance. This is private property. You need to move your RV now. Door opens just enough for her to stick her head out. You don't give me chances. You don't tell me what to do. This is community land, and I have every right to be here. Then she actually points her coffee cup at me, like it's evidence. You sound awfully aggressive for someone who doesn't know the rules. Maybe I'll call the sheriff and tell them you're harassing me. She says she knows people. You're not going to win this. There was that tone. steel underneath, meant to poke at every nerve. But I wasn't going to back down. Lady, I've owned this lot for years. Deed, survey, tax records, you name it. You're trespassing. She just waves her hand like she's shooing a fly. Don't care. HOA policy is clear. Any open lot is fair game. You just bitter someone else finally got to enjoy the lake view. At that, I stepped closer, voice low. This lot isn't open. It's mine. I won't tell you again. Move your RV. For half a second, I see something flicker in her eyes. Doubt? Annoyance? Doesn't matter. She grins. Oh, you're one of those men. Think a deep voice and a scowl makes you the boss. The HOA runs things around here. And then she struts down the RV steps, parks herself in one of my lawn chairs, drags another one closer to the dock with a screech of metal on gravel. Perfect view, she says nice and loud. I'm not proud of it, but I was ready to lose my temper right then and there. But people like her, they want you to snap. They feed on it. Ma'am, this is your final warning. Pack up your RV before you regret it. She laughs again. Regret it? Oh, honey, the only one who's going to regret anything is you. My husband's on his way, and when he gets here, the HOA will have your hide. She was building herself a fortress out of fake authority, but I wasn't about to let her hide behind it. I head back to my truck, hands shaking. Through the windshield, I see her raise her coffee and pretend I'm invisible. Fine. She wants to play this game? I can play it smarter. The next morning, I'm back. I'd half hoped the RV would be gone. Nope. Now she's got a big, homemade sign propped against my fire pit. Community recreation lot. Approved by HOA. Red tape around the border, blue marker logo. Looked official from a distance, I'll give her that. But what really got me was the crowd. Cars lined the shoulder. Strangers splashing in my lake, grilling burgers by my dock. Karen, front and center, waving her coffee like a scepter. She's holding court. The board wants us to make use of unused spaces, she says, and some of the neighbors nod. Unused. Like my years of work were just a footnote. I park hard, stomp over, make it clear. This isn't community land, it's mine. Some folks get sheepish, start packing up. But Karen just laughs, louder, turns to the crowd. Don't listen to him. The HOA knows the rules. If he really owned it, why would the board let us be here? She leans in, whispers just for me. I've been here longer than you. People trust me. You can't win. And that's when I realize she's not just trespassing. She's hijacking the whole story. Suddenly, I'm the bad guy for wanting my own land back. That night, I barely sleep. Every time I close my eyes, I see her stupid sign. Community recreation lot. Next morning, I head straight to the HOA office. Place smells like lemon cleaner and fake friendliness. Lady at the front desk, Linda, her name tag says, tries to smile me away. I tell her straight, why is there a 40-foot RV on my lot? She mumbles something about temporary use policy, but when I say my lot number, she gets a little paler. Then out comes Robert Jenkins, the president. Smiles like a used car salesman. Good morning. What seems to be the problem? I lay it out. He tries to wiggle out with community guidelines, but I cut him off. Deed, survey, paperwork. Your HOA doesn't own 1 inch of my land. He glances at my documents, jaw tightening. Let's not get heated, he says. I'm sure this is a misunderstanding. I tell him, either you make her move, or I bring in the sheriff in a tow truck. He says he'll look into it. I walk out. Sun's bright, but I'm cold inside. Karen thinks she's untouchable, but her little house of cards is about to come down. Except, she doesn't move. In fact, by the time I drive out there again, she's doubled down. Patio set, smoker grill, rainbow umbrella, inflatable kiddie pool, you name it. My land looks like a cheap summer camp. And Karen? Clipboard in hand, barking orders, grinning like she just bought the place. Set up anywhere you like, she shouts to new arrivals. Don't mind John. He's just territorial. That's when I realize this isn't just stubbornness. It's war. So I call the sheriff. Deputy Holloway comes out, a big, steady guy. He checks my deed, listens to Karen wave around her HOA approval. A bunch of printouts, a letter with the HOA letterhead, nothing real. Holloway sighs, hands him back. Ma'am, this doesn't override a deed. But unless there's criminal damage or a formal court order, this is a civil matter. My heart drops. Karen hears it, too, beams at me like she's just won the lottery. But here's where the story turns. Because when you're backed into a corner, sometimes you have to outlast the storm. Mark, my lawyer, tells me document everything. Photos, videos, notes. Don't lose your cool. I do just that. Every night I'm out there, snapping photos, filming the noise, the bonfires, the cars blocking the road. Karen thinks she's humiliating me, but every photo is another brick in the case I'm building. Things get worse before they get better. The parties go from annoying to dangerous. Fireworks near my cabin, bonfires too close to dry brush, drunk teenagers everywhere. One bottle rocket almost hits my cabin. That's it. I storm down from the ridge, call them out in front of everyone. Karen mocks me, riles up the crowd, makes me the villain. But I see something different now. Neighbors shifting, some worried, some even ashamed. The tide is starting to turn. Then, Karen overplays her hand. She hosts an HOA meeting on my lot, starts talking about seizing it for the good of the community. I film the whole thing. Neighbors finally push back. My lawyer calls. This is gold, he says. She just admitted on video to trying to steal your property. Court order comes through at last. Sheriff comes down the ridge with the injunction in hand. Tells Karen and her whole circus to clear out. Now, she tries to protest, but this time, nobody stands with her. Within an hour, the lot is empty, music cut off, party over. Karen isn't done, sends me bogus fines, slaps fake violation notices on my door, parks at the end of my drive to glare. Even tries to file a bogus lien on my cabin. County clerk calls me laughing. Don't worry, Mr. Thompson. We see what she's up to. Final straw? She builds a fence across my property with a hand-painted community property sign. I take photos, send them to Mark. Judge calls a hearing, courtroom packed. Karen tries her act one last time, piles of fake paperwork. Judge cuts her off, lays down the law. Contempt of court, barred from my property, ordered to pay every cent she's cost me. And just like that, the air changes. The neighbors see it, too. For the first time in years, they aren't scared to nod, to wave, to drop by and chat. Karen? She fades out. The SUV is gone. Rumor is she got booted from the HOA. The sense of relief, of real peace, settles back over the lake. It's like the place can finally breathe again. You know, I learned something through all this. Owning land is not just about paperwork or fences. It's about standing your ground when the line gets pushed, about fighting not just for you, but for the folks too scared to stand up. Sometimes justice doesn't come easy. Sometimes you have to drag it, kicking and screaming right out into the daylight. I still sit on my porch some evenings, coffee in hand, looking out over the lake. The air is sweet and still. No music, no shouting. Just the quiet. It feels earned. And I'll tell you, sometimes when you finally get your peace back, it's not just a win for you. It's for everyone who ever got steamrolled by someone who thought the rules didn't apply to them. Now let me ask you, where do you draw the line between standing up for yourself and keeping the peace? When does community become control? Have you ever had a fight for what was yours against someone who just refused to back down? I'd love to hear your take. Maybe you've lived through your own Karen. Maybe you were the only one who stood up. Share your story. Let's see where folks land on what's right, what's fair, and what's just plain too much.